Welcome to the video. We're going to be building something today. I'm using these little, it's not really, I guess it's a kit you can buy. I cut these little wallet panels out as well as make these wallet interiors. They're made out of kangaroo leather, and of course, if you buy one from me, I don't put my stamp on it. But they got these little pockets here and then card pockets as well. And like I said, you can get these through me. I'll leave a link down below. But I'm just gonna show you how I build these. I'm gonna hand stitch it just so you can kind of get an idea of how to build one your own. If you're thinking about getting into some leather work or something, it's a pretty good way to do it. But anyway, first thing I do, I fold that panel in half, and I just make me a mark down at the bottom on both sides, probably 3/8 of an inch or so from the back of the fold. And that's going to be where I stop my stitch line. I'm going to move this back. Hopefully it will quit flickering. Anyway, I'm going to mark my stitch line. I'm going to come in right about 1/8 of an inch. I'll just start over here and just groove that stitch line in. Go all the way around. Just remember not to go across that little spot there in the center. That's where we'll stop it. So we got that there, and we're going to stamp this one just because I'm going to try to leave a pattern in the description for you. I don't know if I'll be able to yet. I'll plan on it though, but I don't know if I'll be able to figure that out or not. But if I do, take a peek, look for it anyway. These kangaroo interiors, they're super strong. I've had one that's lasted me years and years and years, and it's nowhere close to being worn out. But anyway, I'm going to start drawing this pattern here, and I'm just going to make something fairly simple for the sake of the video, just to move things along a little bit. Let me see. Let's take that light off. So I'm just going to come in there, maybe throw a flower in the corner. A lot of times I like to throw a flower here in this corner, and this corner as well, and just have a couple vines attached to them. It's a pretty easy way to do a wallet. Might as well just do that. We can overlap a little bit there at the back. I think it makes it look more natural anyway. So just get me a flower stem going. And again, like I said, I'm going to try my best to attach this pattern. So take a gander, and that's not going to cost you anything. I'll plan on doing a few pattern packs in the future. Maybe I will charge for. But today's your lucky day. You just get to test, you get to taste, see if you like these patterns or not. There we go. And once I haven't added any detail to my flowers yet, but that's pretty much just a roughed out pattern right there. But start adding some stuff to the flowers. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you can see it a little better. Try not to get any shadows. And I have already, in case you didn't see, I taped the back there. That keeps everything from stretching out when we're stamping it, because as we compress that leather, it has to go somewhere, and it's always out. But if we keep her taped up, it tends not to stretch as much on us. You kind of get the gist of where I'm going with this, so I'm just gonna shut it off, and I'll catch you back up when I'm done when I'm done drawing that out. There we go. We got half of it drawn. So I'm just gonna run in and throw it on the copier right now, copy that, and then I'll have a copy to hopefully attach in the description, as well as flip over so we can do the backside as well. So I'll catch you back in just a second. All right, I'm back. It's a different day. I got that pattern copied off. All I'm gonna do now is just wet this. I'm wetting this side to get ready for to carve, and then the other side here because I'm gonna transfer the paper pattern to the leather. So all I'm gonna do on that, just gonna line it up, just swap sides with it, and once you get that thing lined up, all you're gonna do is trace on the lines. And that's going to leave an impression in that wet leather, and we're going to know where to carve. So I'm going to get that finished up and be back in just a minute. And there you can see we got it finished tracing up. Now the next step, I'm going to grab my swivel knife and start cutting on these. I'll zoom in a little bit for you. So I got my swivel knife, got it pretty sharp. I got dye all over my hands. That's kind of looks like motor oil, but it's not. So I'm just going to start cutting this pattern. Whenever I'm using my swivel knife, I start my cut pretty deep, and then as I get to the end of it, I taper it off. And that way, whenever we go to beveling and everything, we'll just do the same thing, but it just makes everything taper off and run real smooth in your pattern. So I'm going to finish this up, and I'll catch you back here in just a minute for the next step. So I got everything cut in, and now I'm going to start stamping on her. There's my flower centers. That's always what I start with. And I'm just going to whack them in, try to get a real good impression on them. That's what I'm looking for right there. Next, I'm going to take this little Tandy tool here and run those from my flower centers to kind of create a little depth in there. Just work all the way around. Got all those centers shaded. Now I'm going to use this thumbprint and continue all my shading in my leaves and my flower petals. I'll just start up here, use this bigger end, and just walk it back towards the base of the vine. Get in these ones as well. And I'm just walking it in there. Let me show you on a couple petals, and then I'm going to finish it up. But just get that thing right on the top. Let me zoom in for you. Right on the top of the crown of that petal. And work it towards that flower center. All right, I'm going to finish her up and come back and let you see what we have. Got it all shaded. Next, what we're going to run is going to be the beveler. Should have had it down already. So there's the beveler. You've seen it in a few videos so far. All we do on that, we just put that pointed end down there in your cut to the outside, and just walk it around, tap and walk. And you can see it presses down the outside of the leather there, kind of giving that a little 3D look, if you can see. But I'll pick that up, show you what I get later. I'm going to finish her up real quick and go from there. All right, so the beveling's finished up. Next tool I'm going to use is a bar grinder. And that's just going to cover up all the background that we have here, create contrast. And we'll just start down here in one of these little cracks. Turn the light on for you. Got all the bar grounding done. Next, I'm going to hit this little stop, and I'm just going to run it right in those little flower petals where they end at, and just give it a little tap. So next, I got this little veiner, and I'm just going to put a few of those on these little flower stems here. Just angle them up. Doesn't do too much, just adds a little bit of texture. I'm going to go ahead and finish those up. So I got that veiner whacked in there. My leather was drying up a little bit, so I gave it another spray of water. Now I'm going to add some decorative cuts with my swivel knife. I'll zoom in here so you can get a look at it. But I'm just going to kind of, just a couple little cuts there. And I'm just going to follow the flow of my petal, how these ones are coming out this way, and then these ones are turning in. I'm just going to follow the movement of my petal. Same thing on all these little vines. Just follow the movement, taper it out. So I got the wallet stamped up. Next, all I have to do is peel that tape off. And I'm going to start gluing my wallet interior in there. Remember, you can get these at bbrosleather.com. I'll leave a link down below as well. This one's a little dirty, but they don't usually come that way. So I'm going to get that tape peeled off real quick, and I'll be right back and show you how to glue these up. So remember how we didn't make our stitch groove across here? So that's our bottom. So this is going to be our little top piece right here. And we're going to bring it down. I want it to overhang the top just a little bit so that we have some to cut off. So I'm going to, just leave like 1/8 of an inch is all we need to do. And then I'll just come on the back side here and just mark where that's going to go. And you can see how it's a little short. That's because we're going to have to fold it. And that's going to make our wallet so that we can close it and open it. Because if we cut these both pieces to length, fold it over, there's going to be a bind in it. Because the inner piece is going to want to lengthen. It's going to get shorter as we fold it over. So that's the benefit of these patterns, is that it's already taken into account. So you don't have to monkey with all that stuff, because trust me, it took me quite a while to get those. It's not impossible by any means, but it took me a while to figure it out. So I'm going to get some glue on this. It's just regular old contact cement. You can get it at the hardware store. This stuff's a little thick. I need to thin her down a little, but it's going to work for this just fine. So I'm going to get that glued up, both pieces. Like I said, I got that marked with a pencil there. I just don't want to go down below that line. All it's doing is just covering up this rough piece. It's not really necessary, but it does give it a little cleaner look. Once that glue tacks up, what I do on these, just kind of come over here and see I'm gluing that sucker right up on the edge there. Come to the other side. Do the same thing. Sorry, you can't even see it. Glue her up right on the edge there. Oh shit, did I really? See, I put that on the wrong side. So I'm gonna have to redo that. Oh, what a moron. I'm gonna glue that back up on the other side, and we'll come back here in a minute. So I got most of that glue cleaned up with the sander. There's no sticky residue left on there, so I'm going to try this again. Like I was saying earlier, get that glued down right on that edge. Come across to the other side. Glue that down. Sorry, try to keep it in the focuser here. And just pinch that sucker together. And see how it has that curve to the wallet? Then when we close it, you don't get a big old wrinkle and nastiness there. So next, like I said, I'm going to hand stitch this thing just for the video. Give me just a second here. Got this number 6 overstitch wheel. Just going to go on my gouged line. Get it lined up on the corner there. And just mark my stitches all the way across. So each little dot's where I'll be spiking her through with my awl. And I'll show you that here in just a second. So there, we got all those holes marked. I picked out some orange thread. I got 2 needles loaded up. And I'll show you that right now. So I got my 2 needles, got my stitching all here. I'm just going to start this by, my awl's a little dull, but just going to poke a hole, run the needle through, make sure both ends are even, stab another hole, golly. Come through on my back thread first, grab the needle, and go through with my front one, and pull her snug, and just continue that process all the way on that top panel. We'll just pull her snug. Go through with the back first, then the front. So I got that top stitched. Next I'm going to take this number 2 edge beveler, crumb across the top side before I get the main interior on, because it's a lot easier to access right now. I'm going to wet that edge and then burnish it. I'm just going to take my canvas cloth and rub that thing until she's smooth. Now it's time to glue the interior to the exterior. I'm just going to glue around there and about right where those pockets are. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm also going to stop, where we didn't mark our stitch line on this body piece. Get that glued up. But you just want to come in, a 1/4 inch or so, and you don't have to use just a ton of glue. You don't want to make a mess because you don't want it to come inside of your stitch line. Start about right there. There we go. I'll let that set up, glue it on, and we'll go to the next step. After you get your glue set up, zoom out a little bit, show my mess. All we're going to do is just line up your edges. And we're pretty much going to do the same thing we did on the other piece there. Get my edges lined up. Get on that side. Get them lined up on the other side. And basically all I want to do is close the wallet. That's going to allow everything to stick, and you can see how this wallet is pretty much wanting to stay in the closed position. You open it up and you see that's why we don't stitch right there, because that's our relief point. So there we go. We'll get that stitched up here in just a minute. Now we got that thing glued up. Just gonna go back with the overstitch wheel and put one of those little feet right where I left off. Bring it down my line and turn. And go to right where my stitch line ends there in the center. Do the same thing on the other side. If you're looking right down that stitching wheel, it helps you stay on that line. Sometimes if you're looking from the side, it's really hard to tell where it's at. But if you're looking right down her, that'll usually help you out. All right, so I got that finished up. I'm going to get some thread strung together on some needles and meet you back at the little stitching pony. So we're back to stitching it. Just doing the same thing I was earlier, just going through a few more layers of leather. But you just find your mark that you made with your overstitch, run your awl through. From the back side, run your needle through, cross your needles, pull, flip your hand, and run your needle back through. I'll usually pull that front down a little bit faster. Pull that snug till it looks like your last stitch, and that's, if you just get that rhythm, that's really all there is to it. I'm not going to sit here and show. Got it all stitched up. That's what you should look like at this point. Now all we have to do is trim it off of those 3 sides that we haven't already, and then we'll edge it as well. And I'll usually, cut with my knife as close as I can, and then I'll finish it up with some sandpaper. But I'm going to go sand on it and see you back in a sec. Now everything's trimmed up and sanded real close. I'm just going to take my edge beveler. This one here is number 3. And just go around both sides. Front and back. Now I just got to wet those 3 edges. And get canvas cloth. Just start rubbing. I'll catch you back in a minute when we get them all slicked down. The edge is done. Sewing done. Got everything trimmed up. We're almost there. I'm just going to let this thing dry for a little bit. Get the moisture out of the edges. And then we'll go ahead and slap some oil on it and finish her up. So here we go. Got my olive oil, a little wool skin. I always like to go around the edges first. I don't know why, I just do. No reason for it. Now, on these flower carve things, I'll usually get that plain stuff because it's going to soak up oil a lot less than the flower carve where we've got it cut and bruised up. So just go over it fairly. I like a good medium oil. A lot of people like oil just a little bit less, but I like that good rich color. I'm not going to antique this or anything. It's just going to be an oil finish. And it's going to lighten up a little bit more from what I have right here, but that's what we have right there. And remember, you can snag some of these wallet interiors there at bbrosleather.com. I don't stamp them. Once again, I can also get you these pre-cut back sides as well, or front sides, I guess, whatever you want to call it, the exterior leather. So hop on there and check them out. I do have this here pattern for free. Download. You don't have to give me an email, nothing. Just it should take you right to a Google document or a Google Drive, and you should be able to download it, print it off, and use it on your wallet. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to. and I'll catch you on the next one.